Hey guys, it's Jess and I'm really excited to be sharing some very different kind of content over the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be working with an amazing production crew on this fantastic web series. It's called Mindful and it's all about mental health. I'm going to be meeting with a range of different experts, talking to them about mindfulness and well-being and just how we can all be our happiest, healthiest, most productive selves. Every day, there are over 5 billion views on YouTube. It's the most influential platform out there for anyone to be able to publish their creations online. But in saying that, as a consequence, I think that the lines are being blurred between what's real and what's not. Social media has been linked to a lot of negative issues like anxiety, depression, and personally, for me, self-comparison. So as someone who creates content online for a living, that kind of stuff really hits close to home. I want to change this perception of what it means to be an influencer. And I just really want to be part of the solution and not the problem. So when I started, I think I had a pretty big wall up. It's like everything has to be said through a smile and I'm not really being my true self. When I was studying, I did feel really stressed and I don't think I had a healthy balance. So I knew that I needed to add more content to my channel that was not purely about study skills, and a big focus in my own personal life, especially over the last 6 months since I moved up to Sydney, was to focus on my health. I really want to make sure that I do things right, that I'm learning more about the online space and social media and mental health. And so I want to speak to people who are in this field that are creating research that's evidence-based and make sure that I'm giving the right kind of advice on my channel. So I've reached out to Brady-Ann O'Dia, an mental health expert who has been researching this topic for 8 years.
One of the real advantages of people in your position is that you have the power to reach hundreds of people with really small, key, punchy messages. If we looked at traditional ways of getting those messages out, it would take much longer and be a lot more expensive. Yeah. We do know that mental health issues are really prevalent amongst university students. Those stresses that they face, moving out of home, academic stress, work-life balance.
I can definitely relate because when I was in my final years of high school, my anxiety spiked. But I think that that's also inspired a lot of the content that I now put out.
Yeah, and we know that there's a number of different ways that social media platforms can actually help young people. Like you said, young people really like to seek help online. They can do it at a time that suits them. It can be anonymous and private. And also it's a way to meet other people that are feeling the same way that you are feeling. Do you know what people are thinking about the content and whether they're finding it helpful?
We actually ran a little focus group where we showed some teenagers a couple of my videos. I haven't seen the response, a little nervous, but I thought it would be really nice if we can watch it together and maybe just see what you have to say about it as well.
Yeah, definitely, let's do it. Yep.
Welcome students, come through. It's good to see you guys.
Hi lovelies and welcome to Wellness with Jess, my third YouTube channel. You might have already found me from Study with Jess, my educational channel, or my vlogging channel, Life with Jess.
What positive emotions did you guys feel from watching it?
She comes across as like a very happy person. It's like an uplifting feeling that you get. Yeah, I wish my room looked like that.
What about negative emotions that you felt?
She only shows you her positive routines and what works for her instead of some of the struggles that she's had to face.
In some ways it can be somewhat hard to relate to. People will be watching it thinking like, oh, I wish I could be that positive, that motivated,
She kept, cutting to shots of her desk and her planners and all this stuff, but the planners were never filled out. Like if she was actually...
It's too messy otherwise for filming.
Doing all this stuff. Yeah, I don't know, I felt like it wasn't the whole truth. The content is really there and it's really positive, but it's hard to take on board if you're not seeing the context of why she maybe put that in place. But I think because of the platform, yeah, we do have a certain expectation that it's going to be more personal.
The YouTuber themselves has the responsibility to look after their viewers. And if they're going to put something out that's going to damage somebody else's mental health, then that's on them.
Wow.
Wow.
I was
That was
not
great.
expecting that. That was, wow, yeah.
They were saying that they didn't actually need the heavy details and the specifics. They just wanted to kind of take what you've done in your life and what you've learned and then mould it into a way that they can use in their own life. It seems like young people are very good at being able to pick up on who is and who isn't that genuine.
They're right. I don't give the why or the before, I just give the after. I think one word comes to mind after all of this, and it's just authenticity.
Yeah.
You have to be authentic. It may not have been exactly what I expected, but it was really eye-opening to hear from my viewers about how my content actually influences their mental health. I really need to allow myself to be more vulnerable online and share more of my life. It is a little nerve-wracking to acknowledge this pressure, but I know that that's what I need to do. Next week on Mindful. It's easy to then tie your self-worth to things you can quantify.
Okay, how does the content you're exposed to affect your emotion?
We get to interpret them and show you what's happening in your brain at the time of the scan.
Let's do this.